My belief when I started as a spine surgeon back in the late 1980s was that you needed to have an implant that wasn't radio opaque, that didn't have a modulus that was so much greater than the contacting bone, the end plate, the trabecular bone. And I always liked native bone, trabecular bone, and I loved this type of polymer called PEEK. I liked the fact that it was invisible. I liked the fact that I could see bone graft going through it. I liked the fact that it was easy to use. Most importantly, I liked its modulus. It wasn't stronger than the environment that you placed the bone. And then Curiteva came out and said, listen, we sort of figured it out. We know what the porosity has to be. We know what the pore size should be. We know that the way we put this together, we have a different technique where it's sort of a fused filament lattice that comes out, and they talked about a diamond shape to the lattice, which is the perfect biological shape that allows bone to sort of oppose to it.
This technology employs a structure drives biology, which may sound commonplace, but there are techniques and things we know about cellular machinery that we didn't know 20 years ago. We can now bring those all together to work in concert such that we have structures that have never been created before. We are truly creating biologic interactions and cajoling the body to almost heal itself in the environment that we've created. That's been a dream of surgeons, to bring these to bear, again, with a material that's been around for decades. The only way you get to that is through this enabling, pioneering technology of 3D printing fused filament fabrication.
I like the fact that their process is sort of a layering device and a lattice. And if you take the rings of a beer plastic and if you pull it tight, you get to a point where you can't pull it any stronger because all the fibers align. They have a type of processing that it forms this sort of linear crystallinity that makes it so tough. So their process of a lattice makes it stronger. Remember, they're the only FDA-approved 3D printed technology that exists for PEEK today.
I was presented with an opportunity to try to solve printing a polymer that I really didn't know much about at the time, and that probably was the best thing because I didn't realize of the constraints or the barriers that I would be faced. And so now, bringing along all my history and all these disciplines, I was able to produce a novel printer that is unique in the industry. It breaks the norms of traditional fused filament fabrication, and my end goal was to produce a product that represented natural bone and to create a synthetic polymer that could produce something that would encourage bone growth.
That's why PEEK is perfect. It sort of matches the modulus. It doesn't lead to subsidence, and allows the bone inside to be viable, so it gets stressed by the surrounding compression forces of the vertebral bodies above and below to allow that bone to grow. To companies like Curiteva that have figured out a way of developing the porosity, the interconnectivity, the surface coating that allows for immunomodulation to allow bone to want to adhere to it, to stick to it, and to grow through it. I think this is the future. Their 3D method of printing is the way to go.